Hey folks, so today I'm going to try to go over a little bit about what goes into a custom fishing rod and what I use to build them. So, obviously, you have three important things that you're going to need. You have your guide, your fishing blank, and your reel seat. Unlike a conventional reel seat, which I have right here, I've been actually going to the quick release reel seats, and so far I haven't had any issues. I've been using them for probably the last, I'll say, 2 years, and I haven't had any issues. This one's from Fuji. Um, these are some of the references that I use, and most of the time I just end up making one off the top of my head. Like, I'll base the designs off of what I find in here and even online, and and then I just put my own colors to it and go from there. As far as guides go and the blank, it really depends on what you're going to use the fishing rod for. If it's going to be for going offshore, inshore, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, going off a bass boat, um, it really just depends on what you want to use the fishing rod for. And I think that's why I like building my own, because you can make them versatile. You don't have to completely go, okay, this is a saltwater blank. It can only do saltwater. No, I think I've got one or two rods that I use off the fishing pier and the bridges. I probably could use those on freshwater. So that's the cool thing I enjoy about building my own, or even buying some that are versatile like that. But as far as blanks go, um, like I said, it just depends on what you want to use it for. These two fishing rods are actually the exact same, just I'm building this one and the other one's done. That was actually my first fishing rod I ever built. But this one I'm building for a buddy of mine, and I'll try to do a how-to series on just kind of step by step, and probably go through a few highlights on what I'm doing with it, but that'll be in a later video. As far as guides go, you want to make sure that you just want to be able to differentiate between spinning and casting. I'm setting this fishing rod up for casting, but also to where you could put a small spinning reel on it. Hence why that guide is a little bit bigger than that one over there. It's not much, it's only one size, but that way you can make it either or. Some of the thread that I have, this isn't all the pro wrap that I have. I've got a lot more than that. But these are the colors that I'm using for this fishing rod here. And probably the longest part, besides doing decorative wrap and guide wraps, is this part right here, putting the epoxy on. Normally what I do is I put one coat on every, say, 24 hours, depending on the temperature, and if my other job keeps me busy, it might go a couple days before it sees another coat. One other thing that takes a while too is if you want to color preserve it. And all color preserving does, instead of, like, this thread here isn't color preserved, and I'm not going to, but basically this is just the natural color of the thread, and that's what happens when you don't color preserve. It actually gets darker, and I actually like the darker look of it, because it looks more like it kind of, I just like the darker look of the purple. on the fishing rod. But anyway, so if I was to color preserve this, it might darken just a little bit, but it won't darken to the other purple. A couple other threads you can use. I have Madeira thread, and I absolutely love it. They have a nice wide variety of colors, and I've color preserved all the ones that I've done with Madeira, so I haven't, so those all turned out really well. They're nice and bright. That's what I used on my rain shadow build that I posted a few months ago. Some guys have, I do all mine by hand, so it takes a little while. Some guys have a power wrapper, which it's a motorized chuck on one end, and it can be up to, I would say, 15 feet long, and you can put an entire fishing rod blank together, put it on there, and basically just go right down the line and have it built. So because I do all mine by hand, it takes a little while, it takes a little longer, but that's fine because I do enjoy building my own fishing rods. So I'll keep everyone posted on this build. It's been a work in progress, but I'm gonna try to do a how-to on this fishing rod. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I usually use these 3 references plus some stuff that I find on the internet, and I know a few custom rod builders, so I usually ask them questions and go from there. So any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll talk to you guys later.